Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way, if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way. If you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous, did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments, get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes up.
Yo, what's good, y'all? What's the word? What's going on? How everybody doing out there? Y'all already know what it is, man. We are back again, and it's time for the Thursday banger. It's time for the Thursday banger, y'all. That's a lock. It's time for the Thursday banger, and I got one. I keep a banger at all times. But like I always say before I start these videos off, I have no problem delivering this content to everybody that's out here working hard, working a 9 to 5. Everybody that's out here with their own business, getting to that bag the legit way. I make sure y'all got something to watch in the mornings, and I promise y'all there's no problem on my end. I also have no problem making sure I'm warning y'all and telling y'all about how dangerous prison is. I only ask for one thing in the process, and that's for y'all to just stay out the way, man. That's it, man. Not asking for much. I'm just asking for you to save your own life, man. You don't want to save your life? You rather stay out here and just lose your life or lose your life to the prison system, man. Which one you want to do? Pick one, because that's all the streets got to offer, man. It's either the graveyard or it's the jail cell, man. Take your pick, man. Either way, it's not a great situation. I'm telling you, man, everybody that's out here just being extra superly overly tough, they're not the same when they go in there, man. I'm telling you, man, when you get locked up and go to prison, it's a different feeling, man. It's a different way it makes you feel, man. Like, everybody don't get to make it out of prison, man. So, like, don't go through that life, man. Save your own life right now and just stop being a maniac. That's it, man. Turn everything around, man. Be legit, man. If you're a hustler and you know how to get money, turn that into the legit way, man. You can get money the legit way, man, unless you're just that lazy. You want to keep on running from the police and dealing with fiends all day. Now, that's what you want to do. Handle your business, man. But everybody else that want to come over and stay out the way, man, it's a lot of room over here, y'all. So stay out the way, man. Period. But y'all already know what it is, man. This is the Thursday banger game. So when y'all do this, let's get it. Let's go. What? It's time for business. It's time for business, y'all. And the story I got for y'all today is called He Was Being Bullied. Part 1. Crazy story, crazy situation, but we are aware, people. We are in penitentiary, man, where crazy things happen all the time. And I'm telling y'all, man, there's so many people in prison that get bullied, man. Like, you know, I mean, it happens, man. It's a million stories about this. I mean, a lot of people are not built to be in prison. That's for one, man. Then you got a lot of other people that just come to prison and think they still can be the person who they was on the street when they know they're a coward in the inside, man. It's not going to work, man. Somebody's going to pull your card. Somebody's going to know you from the street. Somebody's going to know what's going on, and you will be bullied, man. That sounds scary. That sounds like some old high school, middle school type of stuff, man, but it's happening in penitentiary, y'all. So with that being said, though, we on Susses 2 for this, y'all. We on Susses 2. And I can remember being in 3D, man. And this was crazy because this is like, you know, middle part of us being in 3D. You know, I'm kind of already adjusted, got a job, I'm moving around, doing my thing. At this particular moment, the play that I had set up with Rudy and them, man, that kind of got stale for a second, man, just because it got hot in the support building. Like, the way I was getting on, it was through Rudy over the support building because Rudy was working in the support building. But at the same time, though, like, sometimes it'll get hot from other people trying to try it. Like, he wasn't the only employee that could tell somebody, like, yo, look, do this and do that, and then you can get the pack. So, like, it just started getting hot just from off other employees that was working in the support building with him, man. So at the very moment right now, I have no route. I have no route now. I was the route in 3D for a while, but now I don't have a route, man. So, like, going through life in 3D without a route, but you used to be the route, it isn't a bad life because you still got a little change. You got commissary, you got a lot of stuff going on. So me, I was in the chill mode. So for me, I was just chilling. You know, all I used to do is just get on the wall phone, burn the wall phone down, chill out. This is before I had a phone. I had a phone in there too, but this is before all of that. But like, that's all I used to do is just chill out. That's all I was doing, man. So I'm cool with a lot of people in there. You know what I mean? Like, they got a lot of dudes in there that I rock with. A lot of the dudes that I rock with is about getting that paper. A lot of dudes that's in there from other cities is about getting that paper. Everybody just was chilling, man. It was a good gambling block. Everything was going smooth in 3D, man. So with me not having no route, I wasn't complaining, y'all. I'm still doing my bid. I'm not walking around with my head down, sad, in a bad mood. And I would get like that sometimes if I wasn't getting the pack. But this is a different situation right now, because this was just a situation where Rudy told me to just chill out for a month or so. You know what I mean? Now, a month or so sounds long to the average person, but like when you're in prison, a month or so goes like this. So like when he said like a month or so, I'm thinking at least a month, I gotta chill out. So I just went on and let that play go, just let it be for a while, because, you know, you don't want to get nothing and mess around and take a loss, because there was no way I could get in trouble for getting that pack, you know what I mean, the way I was getting it over there, because the way I used to get it, bro used to grab that junk for me. So like, it wasn't like I was trying to rush and get caught with it. It was just, I didn't even want to take a loss if something go wrong, and that's what it's about. So I just stayed packed and just mind my business. So I ran into my homeboy. It was a dude that I used to know, man. And for real, I'm not even going to say these dudes went from Tidewater. These dudes weren't from Richmond or nothing, you know what I mean? But they was from like the outskirts they was from the outskirts. But I ran into a dude that I used to know when I first got up there. Now, when I first, I ran into a dude when I first got to Sussex 2. Now, a dude that I knew when I first got to Sussex 2, like I met him, you know what I mean? I met him when I first got there. He ended up with being one of the smart ones and ended up getting transferred off Sussex 2. Now, he came with us from Deep Metals, but like everybody that came with us from Deep Metals when we went to 2C, like we was like majority young dudes. Like I don't really think it was like the oldest person on our bus was probably 30. You know what I mean? Everybody else was my age or in their middle 20s or something like that. So for real, we wasn't thinking about going charge free and trying to stay out. We wasn't thinking about that. Like we was running around just trying to be young dudes, man. So this one dude that was on the bus with us, man, it was cool. Like I said, I'm not gonna say the city he was from, but a lot of people kind of knew him a little bit just off who he was. And you know what I mean? This wasn't his first bid. And you know, like I say, he was a little older. He caught like a couple years, 3 years on his first bid. Now he was on his second bid where he didn't have long again. So he only got sent to Deep Metals because of his they classified him like his, you know what I mean? Like the trouble he got into in the jail. He already been in prison before. So that automatically made him a level 4, no matter what kind of crime he had or how much time he had. So he was on the bus with us. So that's when I had met E, man. Me and E was cool. Like, you know what I mean? He wasn't my celly or nothing, but like when we got the full building, the DC inmates were still there. Me and him used to kick it because he wasn't far from my door. We wasn't going out in the pod having rec. You just had to kick it with people in your phone, like that's in the line of your door. So I would kick it with him there. We would talk about sports. Everything was cool. Now, I see James came back to Sussex 2. Now I'm in 3D. This is like 4 years later now. 3 years later or something like that. So now I hear that he's back on Sussex 2. So when I seen him, he was in 4 building. He had sent the word and told me to come outside. So I was like, all right, bet. Like, you know, I was a little disappointed that he was back. But I already know how stuff is. Like, you know, like I'm not even thinking about getting transferred at the moment. Like he already had thought about that. He was one of the smart ones. And he got sent to a level 2. So to hear that he was back on Sussex 2 was wild. But still, though, I'm going outside to meet him. So I go outside now, 3D. When we have rec, like when it first started, they had the yard open. This was before Sussex got like on some petty stuff, but like the yard was open. And 3D was the pod that rec with everybody because we was the only pod in 3 buildings. So like when they put us on the rec schedule, it used to be a rec schedule that you would have on your bulletin board in your pod, and you would see your like the weekly, monthly rec schedule or whatever. I think it was monthly or something like that. But we would go rec with everybody. Like we might be on, because they'll let 4 pods on the big yard, 2 pods on the yards 1s and 2, and then everybody be separated on the basketball courts. But as far as the big yards, 4 pods will go out there. So they might have us on the schedule with 1C, 1D, and 1B, and then they'll put 3D with them. We'll be with 1 building, or they might throw us in there with 2 building, or they might throw us in there with 4 building. It all depends. So when I went outside, I went to go holler at bro. So we out on the ball field, you know what I mean? But we on the ball field with 2 building. So I was kicking it with my homies from 2. So I was kicking it with my bros from 2 building. And that's when I seen. And when I seen them, I was like, man, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. They was coming out on the yard and they was going into the yard too. And I seen them, I came to the fence. I'm like, hey, bro. I'm like, that's crazy, bro. You back, man. He be like, it don't matter though, man. I ain't got nothing but 4 months left. I'm like, what? He like, yeah, I ain't got nothing but 4 months left. I said, man, you super short, bro. That's a lot, bro. I said, you super short, bro. That's what's up, bro. He was like, yeah, man, like, for real, I ain't tripping though, you know what I mean? He was like, yeah, they end up, you know what I mean? I called a dirty you and Weezy, like, they shit me for that. I'm like, where you was at? He was like, he went to Lunenburg, you know what I mean? Which is an open dorm, which is a level 2, just like the prisons I be telling y'all about, that's open dorm with all the bunk beds everywhere. So he was like, he caught a dirty, they sent him back up here. But he was like, for real, didn't mess up his good time because he already went to his annual review. And he's already, you know what I mean, about to go to the crib. So they couldn't really do nothing except ship him. That's the only thing they could have do. That's the only thing they could have did. So now he back up there with us and me and him was at the fence. So while me and him was at the fence, me and him was talking like, you know what I mean? He was like, yo, look, bro, He was like, man, it's crazy, man. He was like, what you got going on, though? I'm like, man, I ain't got nothing going on. He was like, man, I'm talking about what you got going on, Weezy, man, because I already know what you got going on. I was like, man, I ain't. He was like, man, I heard about you, man. I done heard about you. I said, man, I ain't making no noise, man. What you talking about, man? I emptied my pockets with bunny ears. Like, yo, I ain't got no money. I was like, what you talking about, man? I ain't got no money, man. He was like, nah, I ain't trying to hear that. He was like, nah, I'm just asking though because, like, you know, I know you know what I mean? I heard you got situations and sometimes you be da-da-da. I'm like, yeah, bro. I was like, but right now ain't nothing shaking. You know what I mean? I was like, the people I was dealing with is kind of like hit right now. So I'm just chilling right now, man. Just enjoying not being on fire or not having the police run down. I'm like, bro, I'm chilling right now. That's it. So he like, man, yeah, well, look, though, man, I want to introduce you to somebody, though, man. He was like, for real? And he just got up here. He was like, bro, you know what I mean? He was like, man, he don't know nobody, though, man, but like, bro, he can get that money, though. I'm telling you, though, bro. He was like, bro, he know how to swallow them balloons. I'm like, for real? He like, yeah. He was like, for real, though, like the only person I told him I rock with, he said, you know, it's dudes where we from. But he was like, I told him, like, you know what I mean? He was like, I was hearing about you. He told me a dude that we used to know came up to Lunenburg and was telling him, like, yo, look, Weezy be getting to that bag. You know what I mean? So he was like, I've been heard, you know what I mean? Like, dude made me sound like I was a kingpin. I wasn't a kingpin on that joint. I was just somebody that just relentless about getting that pack. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm like, yeah, bro, I had a couple situations, you know what I mean? I was like, you know how stuff be going, though, bro. He was like, yeah. He was like, but look, though, hold on. He was like, hey, Lil Nod. Hey, Lil Nod. We can call him Lil Nod. He was like, hey, Lil Nod. Come here, man. I'm like, hey, bro, you say he be getting the balloons, though? He be like, yeah, bro. He was like, look, he ain't do it up here yet. He was like, but I'm telling you, man, like, he a beast with it, man. I'm telling you, man. Like, you know, like, I ain't trying to put him on to the wrong person. You know what I mean? But he was like, at the end of the day, though, like, I know you a rock with him, though. You know what I mean? On some paper stuff. Like, you know, I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, yeah, well, let me see who he is. So I look, see a little young brown skin dude pulling up. A little short, little brown skin dude, probably about 5'6", 5'7", little cool looking dude. He pull up. He was like, yo, he put his arm around him. He was like, yo, look, man, this dude right here I was telling you about, man. He was like, this Weezy right here, man. He was like, for real? Like, you need to get out and you need to get with him, bro. Like, you know what I mean? You need to do this, do that. I'm like, that's what's up, man. He was like, yeah, bro, get with him. I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, yeah, bro, holler at me, bro. I was like, just let me know what you need or whatever the case, bro. I can make it happen, man. He was like, all right, that's what's up, Weezy. I was like, yeah. He was like, well, look, if they let us off the yard first, I'm going to wait for you. They let you off the yard first, wait for me. I was like, that's a bet, man. You know what I mean? So they let us off the yard first. So I get off the yard. I try to wait till all the people from the ball field was getting off the yard. I was like one of the last people to get off the ball field. So I come off the yard and they was standing right there. You know what I mean? So I seen them like, yo, what's up, bro? You know what I mean? We get to kicking it. You know what I mean? We chopped it up. I dap E up. You know what I mean? Ain't seen E in a minute. Chopped it up with his little homeboy, the little dude, little Nod. Me and him had a good conversation. He told me, he was like, look, he definitely can handle a zip and a half or something like that. You know what I mean? With the balloons, the way his girl bag it up. It's a lot to come back, da-da-da-da. So I'm like, all right, that's what's up, man. I was like, look, though, when you trying to make this happen? He was like, man, not this week. He was like, she coming to see me. This was like Wednesday. He was like, she coming to see me. And then next week, then we can do it. She can see how it is. I'm like, all right, that's what's up. So I dapped her up and went back in the pod, y'all. So boom, I'll be lying to y'all if I didn't tell y'all I was excited. I went back up the steps like this in 3D. I was like, yeah, routes always come my way. They always come my way. I ain't tripping. I'm gonna get a route. I was happy. Went back in the pod. Feeling good. I didn't even tell nobody about this conversation. Like, it wasn't no need for me to alert nobody until it was time to alert somebody about it. So I won't tell nobody nothing. So I went outside again the next day and I caught James. This time they had us on yard 2. They was on the ball field, but I had caught James. I was able to sneak over into the ball field. So I'm on the yard with them. So I ended up kicking it with James. And me and James kicking it, he just telling me like, yeah, he was like, yo, that's my little homie too, man. He was like, yeah, that's my little dog too. He was like, yeah, man, he get it. So I chopped it up with them. We hit the Feezy game. We just started talking a little bit. I got to know dude a little bit more, you know what I mean? He just was like, yo, basically, man, he was like, look, he liked to have the little la-la because he like messing with the la-la for one. Then he was like, you know, he like to have his box straight. And he was like, he got 5 years left. So, you know, he got a little time to get a little dude. But he was like, he had just got locked up, you know what I mean? So he wasn't even locked up long, you know what I mean? So James was like, yeah, bro, look, y'all just put it together, da-da-da. He was like, yeah, soon as my girl come see what's going on, we a lot. So we had that conversation. That conversation was good. So I went back to the pod. It was already standby for child. We about to go to dinner. So we all in the pod, you know what I mean? Everybody getting ready. Everybody don't even know that next week I could be getting a la-la, you know what I mean? I already been out of commission, I'll say about 3 weeks now. It's been about 3 weeks since I've been out of commission. So don't nobody even know that I could be popping up soon with the la-la. So I'm like, man, it's junk crazy. Like, so I'm just standing in the pod looking normal. Like, I don't want to tip nobody off or tell nobody and jinx what I got going on until it's almost that time. But I'm just chilling, feeling good within myself. That like, yo, I thank God for always bringing a route to me, man. Because like, it seemed like that's how it come to me. Y'all be thinking I'm joking when I say I was a magnet for routes, man. Like, I was a route magnet, man. Like, real talk, I was, man. I was a route magnet, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, as soon as something go down and I ain't got nothing happening, something will come my way and then be another route available, y'all. So boom. So that's why I call myself the La-La, man, because I always had the La-La. Y'all be thinking it's a game. I always kept the La-La, man. So I'm feeling real great about this opportunity from a dude that I didn't even expect to even get to play with like this. Even though I rock with James, I appreciate what he's doing, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all. So a little time went on, man. Like 3 days went on. And I can remember one day we was coming back from lunch. And as we was coming from the chow hall back to 3D, you know, 4 buildings gonna be right down our end. And then we'll be going to our building, which is next to 4 building. So right before we can make the turn to get down by yard 2 and get to 4 building, as we was coming down passing like the medical and all of that, the COs came out, was like, yo, put them in the gym gate. Put them in the gym gate. We like, what for what? They was like, yo, put them in the gym gate, man. Come on, we got a status, man. Somebody going to the hole for 4 building, man. So we like, man, Lord. So they put our whole part, or the people that least that already didn't make it to our building yet, you know what I mean? They put us in the gate where the gym is at. Now I told y'all this is where yard 2 is at, where I told y'all we can go and talk to dudes that be coming from Jumar, the program and the gym, because there's a gate right there by yard 2. Basically it's the end of the support building, and yard 2 is by the end of the support building. So they got us locked in that gate. So we all in that gate like, yo, but everybody is looking to see who's gonna be coming out of 4 building, because this will be going on. And you know it's a fight or something happened or police something. So everybody just looking, we like, you know what I mean? So we look, we like, so I see them bring a dude out, he come out like bucking, like dude come out bucking. I'm like, who was that? I look, it's the dude James. I'm like, man. So I see him from afar, I'm like, yo, James. I call him, he looked back. I'm like, he just shook his head. I'm like, dang, that's crazy, man. You know what I mean? So I'm like, that's crazy. I was like, that's crazy. They locked James up, man. So I look, it's another dude coming out. Another dude come out. He handcuffed. They bring him out. So they take both of them to our building, which is 3 building, which is the hole. So they took him over there. You know what I mean? So I'm like, it's all crazy. So they finally got them out. So they opened the gate and let us go back to our building. So we go back to the building. I'm like, yo, I'm telling my man, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. A lot of dude James up. I was like, man, I gotta holler at this little homeboy, man. My man was like, who? I'm like, man, it's a dude, you know what I mean, that I rock with, you know what I mean? That's his man that he just plugged me with. I was trying to make a play, you know what I mean? I hope that would mess the play up down at James in the big. So I was just hollering at my man. So he like, nah, you should be good. If that's the only case, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna be good. So we get back in the pod. Like, man, John crazy, man. I was like, I gotta holler at this little homeboy. So this is probably like Friday, bro, about to go to the VI, you know what I mean, that following weekend for the free visit. So I waited till they call outside rec, and I went outside and I seen the young boy, you know what I mean? So I'm like, man, this junk crazy, man, but I wasn't even tripping though, because I already know with me having a job, I can go and see what James is at and go holler at, bro. So I wasn't even tripping though, even though I needed to holler at his little guy, but still though, I was like, man, I'm gonna go holler at James. So I waited till it was like midnight. I was out there working, and I found out that James was downstairs in 3B. So I was like, all right, so I shoot down there, shoot a pack of Newports and a box of Black & Milds. So when I come down there, I walk to his door, I pop his trace light with my ID. The CO wasn't looking, I pop his trace light. He looked, he was like, I was like, bro, what's up, bro? He was like, oh, hey, bro, I forgot you in this building, bro. I was like, yeah, bro. He was like, man, good look, Weezer, man. I was like, yo, bro, wait, what the hell happened, bro? He was like, man, oh, goddamn. Some nigga, man, he was like, man, some nigga trying to get jazzy with me, bro, trying to talk shit, bro, that down at the spade table. He was like, man, I had to fuck that nigga up, man. He was like, I was worried. He was like, wow, the mister, he fucking that nigga up. He was like, the lady was trying to shoot the gun, missing him. He was like, the lady out like she got frustrated that she was missing him when she was shooting the gun. So he said, goddamn, when he was getting up off the nigga, he said he ran at the bitch. I was like, you ran at her? He was like, yeah, I was gonna grab the gun from her ass, Weezy. I was like, through the bars, man. He was like, yeah, bro, she was busting that bitch. He was like, man, as soon as I got up and started running, he was like, a police tackled me. So I just started bucking on the police. Me and the police get the wrecking, you know what I mean? So he was like, man, fuck them though, man. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And he was like, bro, they might try to just keep me back here, bro. He was like, and if they don't, he was like, man, fuck that shit. I ain't coming back out, Weezer, man. I got less than 90 days, man. Fuck that shit, Weezer. I ain't coming back out, man. I was like, bro, I don't blame you, bro. But I was like, what's going on with your little man, though? I was like, you think that's still a go? He was like, yeah, oh, yeah, that's still a go. He was mad to see me leave, too, because he don't fuck with nobody in there, bro. He don't be fucking with nobody in there. So I'm like, man, damn, man. I was like, so you think he gonna be straight over there? Do you think I need to get him over where I'm at? He was like, nah. Like, he good over there. He ain't gotta worry about it. And I mean, if you try to get him over there, that's up to you. But like, he good over there though, Weezy. Like, he ain't on trip, like, you know what I mean? I'm like, All right, that's what's up though, bro. I was like, look though, bro, I bring you some soups tomorrow night. I was like, I know you needed something, you know what I mean, to blow on right now. So that's why I said, I know you needed some tobacco product. So that's why I brought you this. He was like, all right, bet. So I go up and I slid, y'all. So boom, I got about that jump, man. Got about that pod. Went back to my pod. Went in that joint feeling a little better. Now that I talked to him, it seemed like nothing has changed. So the next day rolled around. That's when I went outside. And I caught the little guy, Lil Nod. So when I see Lil Nod, you know what I mean? I made sure I chopped it up with him. He was like, yeah, bro. He was like, you know, he going to visit. This was today. This was the Saturday that he's going to visit. So he was like, you know, I'm going to visit. And you know what I mean? He was like, after I check it out, then it's going to be all week. We taking off. So I'm like, that's a bet, bro. So we good. He was like, yeah, everything good. I was like, you good over there? He was like, yeah. I was like, you sure since James leave, you good? He was like, yeah, I'm good. I said, because you know you can come to 3D, bro. Got a little cloud over that jump, bro. I can get you over there. He was like, yeah, I'll let you know, but I'm good right now. T-Weezy. All right, that's a bet. But I'm like, yo, listen, though, bro. Like, you got to understand, though, like, you know, 4 building is wild. 4 building is wild, so just be easy on it. Don't tell everybody your business. He was like, yeah, I got you. He was like, yeah, I got you. All right, so he dipped off. So I went on and just had rec, you know what I mean, for the rest of the morning. I went back in the pod. I was just waiting for bro to tell me how the V room was. So he was like, he told me before he left, he was like, look, if I don't catch you at our 2 o'clock rec, because this was morning rec, he was like, if I don't catch you at 2 o'clock rec, that means I went out, you know what I mean? I went to the visiting room. So I'm like, all right, that's a bet. So I went to rec. Anyway, I went outside. So when I went outside, I seen that they had the court, which was not far from us. They had the court. He was in 4B, by the way. 4B had the court. So I seen that they was, you know what I mean? He was on the court. So I'm guessing he was in the V room. So when I started talking to my man that was on the ball field. So I had my back turned to where if somebody was coming back from VI, you know what I mean? I couldn't see them. So I finally turned around. When I turned around, I seen him coming down the boulevard. He had his VI clothes on, you know what I mean? He was coming down the joint. I seen him. I'm like, what's up, bro? He stopped, came to the fence. I'm like, what's good? He was like, yeah, that junk sweet, man. He was like, yeah, I mean, I can get him, but I ain't tripping, you know what I mean? So I'm like, we a lock. He was like, yeah. I said, so you want me to go ahead and put the play together? He was like, yeah. I was like, so look, how your people gonna get it? They gonna drive all the way out Norfolk. He was like, I'm saying they can meet them halfway. He was like, you think they'll meet halfway? I was like, what's halfway? He was like, man, I'm saying like you know what I mean? Like maybe Suffolk or maybe a little bit past Suffolk or something like that. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna see. I said, just let them talk and let them work it out. Then, you know, we go from there. I was like, but I'm gonna put it together for we can be straight though next week, bro. He was like, yeah, that's what's up, man. He was like, man, cause for real, he was like, I used to get bud, man, for my brother. He was like, but that's who my brother used to be with back when I was growing up. My brother used to be with James. He was like, but my brother locked up in the Fed. So he was like, I ain't really got nobody to get nothing from. So that's why I had told him, did he know somebody? And he said, you was the first person that he told me about. So I'm like, bro, listen, don't worry about nothing, bro. We gonna make this play, man. You ain't gotta worry about nothing, man. So he was like, look, bro, if I don't catch you Sunday or Monday, he was like, come outside. Definitely on Tuesday, I'm gonna come out, bro. He said, cause man, I be chilling, man. I ain't gonna lie, I be staying out the way. I was like, all right, that's a bet. Let's come out Tuesday then. I said, because the rec schedule say I got the big yard with y'all anyway. So he was like, all right, bet. So I dapped bro up through the fence and he went back to his pod. So I felt good. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Like, I'm on the fence just like, yo, I'm like, it's on. You know what I mean? My man been telling me about this new bud he got, you know what I mean? He was like, yo, it's dark. This junk super gas, you know what I mean? This some good meat. We talking about, we call it Labo, you know what I mean? Like that's what we used to say where I'm from, that Labo, you know what I mean? My man was like, it's dark, funky, bro, it's good. This before Loud Pack and everything. I'm like, yo, bro, I need that as soon as I get a play. I need that, bro. So I'm feeling good that I'm about to get that, y'all. So boom. Now it's time to go back to the pod and be a quarterback. I gotta be Dan Marino. I gotta go put the play together. I gotta be a playmaker, y'all. I get on the wall phone. All this being done from the wall phone. I get on the wall phone, call my man, let him know the good news. Told him that old boy girl gonna be calling him, and that's a lot. You know what I mean? So I put my play together. I felt good. So I ain't even had to say nothing to bro, shoot him no kite or nothing. My man was just waiting for me to talk to him Tuesday, get the info, and then we go from there. So Sunday and Monday went by super fast. I ain't gonna lie, maybe because I was excited I was about to get this pack. So when Tuesday rolled around, we got the ball field with them. You know what I mean? So we went out on the yard. We going out on the yard. This morning rec, we go out on the yard. So as I'm going on the yard, 4 building is already on the yard. You can tell because we the only pod from 3 building. 4 building is already up there because it's 3 pods up there from 4 building. You know what I mean? And we're the only ones that's going there with them. So we looking like, man, they already on the yard. So we go on the yard. I just start trying to look for the young boy, Lil Nod. I'm like, Lil Nod, you know what I mean? I'm like, so I spot him. You know what I mean? When I see him, he was like in the middle of the field, like kind of like where the workout equipment is at. Not equipment, but like the pull-up ball, a little jump right there. I spot him like, when I see he talking to like this kind of fat, tall dude a little bit. Tall dude had like a little small, little naughty fro, had the freaking beard. I'm like, hey, Lil Nah. Hey, Lil Nah. He was like, I was like, yo, come here, bro. He was like, he just started walking. When I seen him walking, I started turning my attention on him, man. Like, yeah. When I looked up, the big dude was coming with him. Like, big dude looked serious. Big dude was coming with him. Lil Nah pull up. I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? But the big dude kind of like was like in like a little bit in the cut. He was with him though. You could tell. He was like, I'm like, what's good? Everything good? He was like, yeah. I was like, look, bro, we good, bro. You know what I mean? And I looked up again. I seen the big dude kind of like, he was just looking like that. I'm like, yo, look, we good though. Everything's straight. I see you just got to give me your people's number. He was like, yeah, I brought it out. He was like, here, he gave it to me. I was like, all right, look, bro, I'm gonna just let them handle it from there. He was like, yeah, that's what's up. I was like, yo, well, look, hey, yo, who the hell is this fucking big muscle-bound scrub that you got with you, bro?
Get your money, don't care who judge. Stay out the way, surround yourself with nothing but love. Stay out the way if you a gangster, killer or thug. Stay out the way, put your faith in the man above. Stay out the way, chill with your family, siblings and blood. Stay out the way, kick it with your girl, forget hit in the club. Stay out the way, mind on your money, ain't no switching it up. Stay out the way, stand out the way, what you thought that it was. Stay out the way, if you stuck down on your luck, not feeling righteous. Did a petty crime, just looking for some excitement. Now your name on affidavits and court indictments. Get paid for a lot, but your freedom is priceless. You did the crime, you do the time, don't let it surprise you. Real stories from the heart, just to open your eyes.